Okay. So, hi guys, good evening everyone. I'm Petr Skondrojanis, director at Startup Grind and founder of Startup Disrupt, and it's my pleasure to welcome you at this virtual event, which gave us a great chance to explore how startups and HR can function in a decentralized way. Big thanks to all our partners, without whom it wouldn't be possible to organize even this online conference like Check Invest, Microsoft, Philip Morris, Groovis, Google, and others. And now I would like to pass the word to the moderator for tonight. So, Peter, right now the word is yours.
Hello, Patrick. Thank you. Good evening, everyone outside in the outside world. Hello, ladies. Hello, Tereza. Hello, Lucie. So we have two recruitment experts here, Lucie Chladova from Ysoft and Tereza Machackova from Productboard. The common thing that you are working in, I think, two major technology companies and two companies that are trying to conquer the world from the Czech Republic, and it's great technology companies. So, and let's go to the first question. How are you today? Terka.
Thank you, Petr, for this introduction. And hello, Lucie, and hello, everyone. Just maybe directly to your question, I'm feeling very lonely right now. And I'm trying to cope with this work from home working and remote working, and I also feel very fortunate to be at Productboard at this moment and having this opportunity to actually be in this business as I am, and also seeing the whole community right now helping each other in this tough moment, and it makes me really happy on one side, and it's giving me a hope that it's gonna be all fine.
Okay, I think
How
so.
are you?
I'm feeling lonely too. So that we have a common, and we are in our lonely rooms and talking together through the cameras. Lucie, how are you? How Ysoft trying to handle it?
I would say I'm pretty fine. I'm actually at the moment sitting in the Ysoft headquarters, which is totally vacant at this point. So a little bit scared because the place is quite big and there is no one here. But yeah, I'm handling, and I'm excited to be here with you today.
Okay. I think that this situation, this Corona crisis, affect your business. Am I right? A lot, probably. How you work changed at these days? Probably, I think that you have a hiring freeze, or not? Tell me how your daily routine change. Besides that, you are in the home offices. Terka.
So again, I feel very fortunate. Even regarding our recent funding, we actually don't need to freeze the funding, but we really need to so we are not freezing anything, but we really need to now monitor the whole situation and how does this impact our customers and what we are going to do. And we are also going to probably focus on changing the priorities, and we are going to be more thoughtful who are we going to hire, especially when it comes to leadership. And for example, if we are going to scale sales, now we will probably slow this department and hiring in this department down, but not freezing anything right now, thanks to the funding.
Okay, you're lucky. You get the funding, I think, 2 months before the Corona starts.
Yeah.
Lucie, how about you and Ysoft? How about your work?
Yeah. I would say the situation here is quite stable, though of course challenging because Ysoft is both software and hardware company. So it was relatively easy to shift all the people to home office when it comes to engineering, back office, and so on. But there is still this manufacturing part, which of course cannot just really easily be moved to home office. So the people are actually still at work today, or as of today. So that's a bit challenging because of course we were dealing with the lack of face masks and so on. So that was a bit tough, especially from the point of HR. But we handled with a lot of help of vice officers that are at home office right now. That was pretty cool. And when it comes to hiring, of course, we're going to be much more careful about each and every headcount that we open right now because there's going to definitely be some impact. It's just really hard to say at this moment how big it's going to be. So at the moment, of course, we are re-evaluating every open position and we are revisiting all the hiring plans. So yeah, definitely tough, but we also see some opportunities here.
Okay, Lucia, I think that you are lucky because your companies are technological. Ysoft is not a startup anymore, but Productboard is, and you are used to collaborate with your coworkers through the whole technology stuff and online because you have colleagues around the world. But this situation affects every company here in Czech Republic, and most of them don't have any experiences with collaboration through the Hangouts and this stuff. You have some tips how to handle this situation, this online world at this moment, because we are moved to online and remote working.
Mm-hmm.
Lucia.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'd say I've actually realized one thing. It's much more easy when everyone's on home office. What's actually quite challenging about remote work is when you have, part of the team on site and the rest is remotely. Because then the people need to be quite considerate about what they share because, of course, the remote people are not there in the office to share the jokes and to enjoy the small talk. So I would say that we are still lucky in the fact that it's usually most of the people being at home office these days. So that gets a little bit more easy. And then, of course, you need to have the right tools at your hand. So ideally, some kind of internal communicator that allows both chats, calls, video conferencing. Ideally, also some whiteboards. You really need to. I believe that you really need to over communicate in this situation because you need to be 100% sure that the message is reaching actually the recipients. On the other hand, use video chats a lot because you at least have this feeling of human touch over the camera, so that that helps quite a lot. And I would say that some pro tip would be some just small agile or scrum practices like meeting of the team every single day in the morning just to sync, just to talk to each other and discuss what's going to be the priority of the day and so on. So at small things, I would say, again, over communication, being in touch quite often and using the right tools.
Okay. Are the people afraid in Ysoft? Like you feel that you need to tell them that everything is okay, to send them more information than usually do?
So I feel that there's a bit of concern. I wouldn't really say that there is some kind of panic or that people would be afraid, but they are concerned. That's definite, and we are trying to make sure that they have all relevant information in their hand. So we were basically very, very proactive in informing them prior to the crisis what could happen. So we were also trying to do small experiments with some teams that didn't practice home office even before the crisis. So that was quite good. We were quite lucky, to have the senior management who somehow saw this coming. So yeah, there was some time to prepare.
Okay, Terka, how about Productboard? What are your tips?
Mm-hmm. So I think that the most important tips were summarized by Lucia quite good. We also we also advise to really over communicate during this time. We use Slack a lot, and we have like a specific or like focused Slack channels. Called like COVID-19, where we actually share all the official updates for all the offices, like for San Francisco's and for Prague office. So that's quite helpful that we can communicate there and share all the updates and monitor the whole situation and how it's going to impact Productboard and our teams. we have really active teammates and team members. For example, Morris, who is our like remote pioneer, he's working remotely now for 5 months already. He was like the first person of Productboard, like from product team, establishing his first remote team by himself. So he's giving us a lot of tips and advices. He's sharing that on LinkedIn as well, so like publicly. And because you can use like many tools that can make your situation more easier, like Zoom, Slack, Notion, as the internal Wikipedia, or even like Productboard. But also you can have like best practices, like daily stand-ups or like morning stand-ups. You can run retrospectives that we're running when you, for example, have a project, and then we want to look on what went well, what went wrong, what can we like improve next time. It's good, and you can use like Retrium as a tool for it. Like some best practices are like to check in like in the morning. Hey guys, I'm starting working, and you can, for example, turn on your Zoom camera, and then when you want to log off in the evening, you just let everyone know. And you can do like lunches or coffees. You can use like Donut. That's a Slack application where you can pair randomly with people of the whole company, and you can do like remote coffee or remote donuts with them as well. So that's
great.
what we are using.
Okay, that's great. Last question in this topic. You see some differences between the countries, because I don't know, we see only from the newspapers and online news feeds that's happening in London or United States, and probably you have employees there, so you have some inside informations. And I know that in Great Britain they don't use any restriction that we have here. They have concerts and stuff like that. Probably Boris Johnson trying to kill 100 people, 1,100 people in Great Britain. So your colleagues say you sharing this information between your people.
And Vysoft, yes, we do. We actually have like 15 offices in other countries on 5 continents. Even though it's really small offices, it's usually a few customer support people and a sales guy or something like that. So it's just really, really small and tiny. But then we also have this like internal channel around communication, basically in the crisis situation. And it's really noticeable that all the countries have quite specific approaches to the situation. I would say that we are quite heavy on restrictions in the Czech Republic compared to the US or the UK. And I've also noticed that the people there are quite concerned. They would love to see probably a little bit more restriction from the side of the governments, especially in the situation when they can see what's happening here, because as they are part of those channels, they can see what's happening here and what are the specific steps. So yeah, it's quite different, though we are discussing actually every step in the platform. So all the people from other countries are also being part of the communication. There is just this tiny thing with the time difference, because at the situation you need to be quite quick. So sometimes we are struggling with the fact that the people in US are still sleeping, and things are happening here. So that's getting that's getting a little bit crazy at times, but we're somehow managing.
How many hours do you sleep today?
Oh yeah, I do my best to sleep 8, because I'm really dependent on sleep. I don't just do not perform well when I'm slept.
Okay. So let's go to the topic we are meeting today. So it's about the HR challenges, about the recruitment challenges. Let's forget all the COVID crisis for a moment. I think it's difficult. I know it's difficult, but what do you see that is changing in your work, in your challenges? What is the approach of the modern recruitment? Tereza, start.
So what is the approach of the modern recruitment, and what are the current, like for me, the biggest challenge was actually to build all the processes from scratch, and in a startup. So it was the biggest challenge by itself. But fortunately, I have the best teams and people who are really motivated and helping us to do that. So I have never been alone in that. And what the most challenging was actually to hire. So we are at product management, we are SaaS company, and we are looking for more senior product managers who has been through this and who scaled the teams and who actually experienced the hyper growth stages and who could actually guide us through that, and someone really strong in the leadership. But because there are not really any similar company that we could get inspiration from, there are not many product management companies or SaaS companies in Czech Republic. It's really difficult to hire someone in the very senior product manager or senior designer in Czech Republic. So the challenge is how can we relocate them, because we have all the product teams here in Prague. So how can we relocate them to Prague? How can we motivate them to relocate to Prague? Why would actually person, for example, from the product management hub San Francisco relocate to Prague with his family and with everything he already built there, because he would be probably in his 40s or in her 40s, and now why would he move to Prague? So this is the challenge, how to relocate people. But now I suppose that this could be actually learning opportunity for us, and we can probably manage on how to actually do this remotely.
Okay. You're using some video tools for the interviews. I know that when I was working with JobCZ, it's, I don't know, 10 years back, they tried to have some video recruitment tools, but it wasn't time to do that 5 years ago. You're using some tools at this moment?
Mm-hmm. So for video calls,
videos.
Yeah,
video calls, okay, but with the video CVs or something like a bit more than video calls, because we have a video call every day.
So for that, we wanted to start using RecRite. That is the tool where you can actually upload your team talking to a candidate, and then the candidate will send the application through that tool. But it's not really working for engineers, or at our current moment, we are not using it because the engineers are just not really willing to. When we tried it didn't work, because engineers didn't want to really send us the videos, because it would be awkward or something. So.
Okay. Okay, so Lucka, how is it in Vysoft? I know that Václav Muchna trying to hire everyone in Vysoft from abroad. At one moment, his opinion is that here in Czech Republic, he's not able to find the leaders that he wants.
Yeah. You're having this discussion quite often. The thing is, my previous experience is from Kiwi.com, so it was the very same situation, because you're building a company from the Czech Republic, and usually the type of people that you need are the people with the headquarters experience. The rest of the companies that are on this local market are usually just branches or just some shared service centers of big companies that are located somewhere else. And yes, it gets a little bit hard to find those people on the Czech market. So we used to relocate people quite a lot. We used to cooperate with remote people quite a lot too. So yeah, I totally see that this can be a challenge at Productboard too. And it's the same challenge here in Vysoft, because as for the moment, of course, we are looking for product managers. They're not there. So yeah, it's getting tough. But generally answering the question, what's the modern recruitment about? For me, it feels like suddenly you should be expert on everything. On both recruitment. So you should be expert in marketing. You should be really tech savvy. You should have very good understanding of how to collect and analyze data and so on. You should be almost a business expert, so you're able to support your business functions properly. So I would say that the biggest challenge of recruitment at the moment is the fact that it's getting really, really complex. And it's a very, very, I would say, new branch it's a very new area of business. So even as for recruiters and generally HR people, there is not that many senior people with the right skills to be able to support this complex business. So that's probably the biggest challenge I'm seeing, apart of the fact, of course, that there is not enough people on the market, and that we are turning into this gig economy where people would love to work on projects rather than long-term cooperation. So yeah, as for me, it would be this.
Yeah, I think that this is the next challenge after the home offices. How to work. I think that today managers, I don't know how in Microsoft or Productboard, probably not there, but in so many companies, today's managers are not even to think about that they have somebody who's working just 2 days in a week. Enough that he's working with another company. You have some specialized like new roles in your teams. I know that in Alza they had a Java developer in a recruitment team or in HR team. You have some marketers, copywriters. You have some specialist roles. Terka, let's go first.
So yeah, we actually recently started to think more thoroughly, about who are we going to hire into our team to be able to really scale the hiring process and be much faster. So we just hired 2 recruiting coordinators who are helping us to really make sure that the candidates is looked after, and that we actually are measuring our NPS data and feedback from the candidates, and the candidate is just feeling happy, and we do everything about making the best experience from this hiring process for him. Then we have Sorcerer, who just started as well. So he's helping us to source the best candidate that we really want to hire with the profiles we think that could be helpful for Productboard. So he's helping with that. Then we have copywriter as well. So he's now responsible to help us with the content strategy and really look after our whole employee branding. We started to be really active on Medium, and thanks to our copywriter Nick, our engineers are really not scared or afraid of actually publishing their thoughts, because most of them they are not, for example, native speakers. So it was the main barrier. So that's great. What else? And then we have amazing Jirka, who joined as the event community manager.
Amazing Jirka.
So he's helping us to think globally, regarding the community and events, and he's gonna help with the employee branding as well.
Okay.
And then
2 questions. So you think that the communities will be much more important in the future than today, because you hire Jirka from Kiwi, probably.
Yeah, I think that you really need to build the relationship and strengthen the relationship within the community and educate the community and give back the community. And thanks to all these activities, you are they are long-term activities, but you have to really take care of it. So you will have good reputation, for example, as the engineering brand for engineers. Okay. And we can see it has a lot of added value, even if you're doing it remotely.
Yeah, okay. The new world. And the second question is, you mentioned that you are active on Medium.com, that is a blogging platform, and why are you using that? It's not enough to have a blogging page in your website, or why using Medium?
Mm-hmm. So we are using it especially because we are aiming our website and blog to our customers, product managers, that can have this can have a lot of overlaps with actually our potential candidates. But for if we want to really strengthen like the engineering, the engineering reputation, we have to be more active in blogging, like more tech blog posts, and go much like deeper than, for example, what the normal product manager would be interested in, and it doesn't belong on our like website. So that's why we separated that.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's more effective to have a blog post on Medium than promote some blog post in your website, probably.
Well, it depends on content. If it's really you are going to dive deeply into tech, and it's going to be like super tech that nobody will understand, like no product manager, because you are going to speak about really like some coding stuff, then nobody would be really reading it on your website. Or like it could confuse the product managers. But this is actually something we are now trying to sort out with Jirka, like how so where is the overlap, and really, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Lucka, how in Microsoft and you department setup?
Okay, department setup. So like when I heard Tereza speaking, I realized that they're actually at the moment at the point where they're trying to put all these people into the HR team. In Microsoft, we are doing something a little bit different. What we are trying to do is basically create some cross-functional teams. So, for example, as for employer branding, it would be like 2 people from HR, probably recruiters. Then there's going to be some people from marketing, and we try to work much more on like project basis than really as a whole long-term team. So that's slightly different. As for the roles that they're quite specific in our team, that would be probably just the onboarding section. So the onboarding specialist, because we are quite heavy on the onboarding and pre-boarding part. But otherwise, even when it comes to data, even when it comes to automation or integrations, it's usually just pairing someone from HR from someone from a different function within Microsoft. Because these things are usually somehow temporary, or you create them and you just probably need to maintain them on some level. But then you just dissolve team and you create one when there is another topic that has risen. So this is a little bit different.
Okay. How long is your pre-boarding time? I heard last year evolved probably from Maciej Matolin that in STRV, from the first contact until the hiring, they have a 13 month where they communicate with a potential candidate. So 80-90% of the companies can even imagine that they have 3-month process, and they even don't know if they will hire the potential candidate. How long is this time in your companies? Lucka.
Okay, I go first. Okay, so it's not going to be that long here in Microsoft, because I would say that we are not that strong when it comes to hiring through communities. We do actually quite a lot of tech talks, but it's not intended as a hiring practice. It's just something that our people somehow do to probably raise awareness about some topics or discuss some specific things. But I would say that we're far from calling that a structured marketing practice, but we're getting there. So that's some space for improvement for us.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are actually, in touch with the candidates through the hiring process, and then until the very day they start, we call it the pre-boarding phase, and we are trying to keep in touch with them, I would say, on weekly basis, not only to take care about the administration and all this, funky stuff that you need to do before you actually onboard a person, but to keep them engaged, to tell them more about the company, to be sure that nobody else can steal these people, in the meantime, and so on, and also probably to provide them with some information prior the very first day, so they feel comfy and okay when they join us.
Okay. Lucka, how about Productboard?
So I think engaging them during the meantime and during this like really long and nonsensely long notice period is really crucial to keep them updated and stay in touch and invite them for any like offsite. For example, we recently went to offsite to Lisbon, so we actually invited all the people who were about to join, even like into 3 months. So to really keep them updated, informed. We also invite, for example, our founder Hubert sometimes, or when he tried to hire our VP of Sales Zach, he actually flew to Vancouver and invited for a dinner his wife, and really makes the connection even like this. Like much deeper, so it's even like more strategic because when you're actually doing this, usually when the candidate would consider any other position, or like even if he would be considering staying at the previous company, then the influencer could be like his family member. So this is like the strategic thinking, and that's why we are going to, or like we love to be in touch also with family members and wives, girlfriends, and husbands and children, and invite all of them like to our even like happy hours and stuff. So that's really important. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else that you can do in the meantime for them when regarding the building the long-term relationships during, for example, if you organize your first meetup and then you have to be still in touch, keeping in touch with all the like guests you have invited, or like, for example, I was not sending like the offers or like job descriptions to people I've searched on LinkedIn, but I was sending them like the invitations to our, for example, first meetups like a year ago, and now we are converting them to actually like active candidates right now. So it's like a year.
Okay, perfect. How about the modern technologies like AI, machine learning, automation processes? I heard a year ago from Karina Zulay that is some technologies that can do 10,000 screening interviews parallelly. So you working with some kind of that tools?
Okay, I
will start. Let's go. Okay, I love that you're waiting.
Okay. So to link, like my personal opinion is that the Czech companies and startups mainly should really focus on getting the basics right. So it should be, as for me, it should be about a solid CRM or ATS system. So basically a software where you can, track your candidates, not only candidates, but also the prospects and the people that you're meeting on your community events and so on. And then, of course, using those small apps that can make your life easier, such as, the small tools that help you schedule the interviews without really, pinging the emails back and forth and so on. But when it comes to like machine learning, AI, and so on, you really need these when you like do high volume hiring of, I would say, some kind of entry-level positions, and you need to do like 100 screenings per week and so on. But when you focus actually on senior candidates, or when you focus on tech people, what you usually need is really like focus on high quality and on really like personal touch with the candidate. So that's probably space for something a little bit different, or for a little bit different approach from my point of view. And also, like, my personal opinion is that, the recruitment practice is not on that high level to really be in the position to start with machine learning and AI, because what I see the companies are struggling with is even those very basic principles of hiring, like, articulating very well who are you looking for, what your company culture is, being very honest about it, being authentic about that. So I would rather see companies focus on the basics than going into or jumping into machine learning and AI before they fix this. But of course, you should definitely look into this and dedicate some part of your capacities into exploring these new technologies. but just be sure that the basics are okay.
Okay, so people are important still. I like that.
Yes.
and can you say about yourself that you are tech geek, like you're looking forward to the tech future and tech recruitment?
I'm not a geek, but I'm a lazy person, and I really like when some tools can work for me. I hate double work. I hate manual entries and things like that. So that really helps me when exploring options on how to do things better.
Okay, the lazy person drives innovations. So how about you, Tereza?
So I can resonate more actually with what just Lucie said, and it was really nicely said. So I cannot resonate with it anymore. Or we are not using any machine learning. We still really need to focus on how to properly use our new applicant tracking system, that's Greenhouse, and how to actually. We are now focusing, we want to really be a better, data-driven department and make everyone at Productboard to have a visibility into our data, into our funnel, and trying to really make us as most efficient and productive as we can be, and also be driven by data. Then what we are using, maybe what can be like a nice tool for when you really need to do sourcing, and but it's like artificial intelligence tool. It's amazing hiring, and this is like a tool we are using, or like Mixmax for A/B testing when we are trying different approaches for when we are reaching out to candidates. So for example, if we should use more or less emojis, or what really resonates with our customer candidates.
Okay, perfect. You have some tips where I can educate myself in the modern HR approaches, and to find some tips, what conferences to visit worldwide. You have some tips about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm quite critical when it comes to conferences, articles, and so on. So it's really hard with me, because most of the information I'm getting from the outside world, it kind of seems a little bit, I don't know, shallow or not practical enough for me. So I'm quite careful about that. What I probably follow would be, AI HR. They do quite a lot about people metrics and so on. I'm enjoying this recruitment brain food by Hang Lee that I like quite a lot. Probably Unleash London can be very good for technologies in HR and so on, as for conferences. I believe Evolve on the Czech market is well established, and you can really meet inspirational people there. Occasionally I read a book, not that much. Mostly I'm actually trying to speak to people around the business, just trying to really understand what they need and what they do, because sometimes it's really complicated, and that I probably consider to be the most important. Really talk to the people that you have inside the company, and also share with other people from HR, from other companies. And that's probably the biggest source of inspiration and also education that I have at the moment.
Okay, perfect. Any book tip? You're reading some books.
As for recruiter, I would say there for me, this would be 2 books that are must read, and that would be Work Rules by Laszlo Bock. That's very well known, and probably also Thinking Fast and Slow by Dr. Kahneman. That's also very cool. I really enjoy that.
But this is more for the company culture. It's not about recruitment, I think.
Well, Work Rules is actually quite a lot about recruitment and about structured hiring and about what to focus on. So there is a part which is really relevant for recruiters.
Okay. Terka, how about you? Books and tips and conferences.
So I think the conferences, you actually go to conference because you want to network. It usually all the content you have there, you can watch online afterwards, or you can get somehow. So when I go to conference, it's because I want to do the networking, and this is what also really helps me through any Slack channels, through HR recruiting communities. I found found many like mentors, even like short-term mentors through these like communities and through meetups. When I went to San Francisco, I went to meetup of Eventbrite, where I met like super inspiring people scientists, and I actually got to know about this like new role for me that time. And I met like VP people from Stripe, and I made so many connections. And these people and these HR people, even like Lucie, they are all very open, and they all want to share the best practices, and it helps you to move forward much faster, because they've already experienced everything what you're just experiencing, and they cope with the same or similar challenges. So that's great. Regarding like I really listen to books right now through Audible. That's my like most favorite application in the whole universe. So I listen to books quite often right now. Actually, I just listen to Work Rules by Lasso as well. My favorite book I always like come back to, especially in this like hard or tough times. It's Hard Things About Hard Things from Ben Horowitz. That's actually for HR as well, quite relevant. So that's great. And like Life Changing is Radical Candor from Kim Scott, about the feedback, how to provide feedback. And we also always recommend Thanks for Feedback, because, for example, I was really struggling to receive how to receive feedback and how to learn from feedback I'm receiving, because I always thought it's the feedback's provider fault that he cannot actually provide the feedback in the way I can accept that. But then thanks to this book, I've actually learned how to work with receiving feedback. So that was for me great.
Okay. But I see that your founders Dan and Hubert, I think that they know how to give the feedback. I think that they are in.
They read this book.
Okay. So please, managers, read this book. I think it's difficult. I'm meeting people that they have read this book, but it's very difficult to act according this book and the suggestions. Okay. We have a last 10 minutes probably. I have 3 or 4 questions on Slido. Do you have some podcast tips? Terka, start now.
Yeah, sure. I have plenty of them. So I love listening to HBR IdeaCast. Then they have also like Dear HBR podcast, where you can they actually read like a question from HR or from people from the business, and like about like the challenges they are coping with. And then there are like 2 moderators or like hosts of the podcast, and they are like fabulous. They're like goddess because like how they communicate everything, it's amazing. Then I listen to Coaching for Leaders, and then Problem Solvers with Jason Pfeiffer, and like many more, but I can share that afterwards probably.
Okay, I think that, I just want to say that it's very important to follow you on LinkedIn or Facebook, both of you, because you're sharing so many tips in LinkedIn articles, and I think you have shared some tips about this podcast and books.
I just wish I can remember everything. I cannot remember anything, so that's another thing.
You need to write it down somewhere.
That's why I'm writing it, but still.
Exactly. Lucie, you have some other tips?
I'll skip the podcast question, not only because I would say that all relevant podcasts were already, or Terka talked about it. But the most important thing is I don't really listen to podcasts anymore about HR. Yeah, this is real thing. So I already enjoyed this podcast about Harry Potter. It's called Potterless. So just to light it up a little bit, this one is also a good one. Not really HR podcast from my side.
Okay. We have some very interesting question here on Slido. Do unicorns really exist? I mean, wait. I mean somebody who is suitable and valuable for every startup, or how you define unicorns, if you believe in them. I don't understand the question. So because I don't have a unicorn. I have a startup that will probably die in a few days. But you have some answer for that?
Yeah, I have probably just a vague one. I kind of believe in unicorns. I believe I have some in my team, and I believe that there are some people that are really very versatile, very talented. It's not that hard to find them. It's really hard to keep them engaged, to provide them with a challenge big enough so they can actually enjoy working on something. But I believe that yes, there are some people that have all needed skills that you need in the startup. They are brave, they're authentic, they're empathetic at the same time. And yeah, it would be probably a little bit different definition for every company, because every company is looking for a little bit different personal and also hard and soft skill setup. But I believe every company has a unicorn setup that can be found on the market. Yes.
Okay. What's your opinion on mentoring programs for employees? Tereka, you have some mentoring programs in Productboard?
We don't have any official mentoring program, but this is something we would like to actually build, or what we would like to at least give the advices to our employees how to get even external mentor. What we have platforms, remote platforms like Plato.hq, what are using our, for example, engineering leadership. They are connecting to interesting people or experienced people from, for example, Silicon Valley, principal engineer from Facebook, and connecting with them on weekly basis and trying to get mentored by these people. We have Better Managers platform as well that we are using for the first time managers. So this is something I use, for example, and it's amazingly enriching, and I'm super grateful that I can be using that and learn from that, because I got my first 360 feedback thanks to that, and I can learn from this feedback so much. So this is like the remote platforms for us, how we get mentored by other external mentors.
Okay, thank you. Lucia?
The question was about internal mentoring, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as for the internal mentoring, we are just starting some kind of program here in Ysoft. There was a quite successful program in Kiwi.com. It was called Kiwi to Kiwis, or Kiwi to Kiwi. I think it was Kiwi to Kiwi. And it was
some fruit to fruit.
Yeah. It was kind of amazing to see how many people you can find that they're willing to share their skills. You usually learn that even just sharing within the company can really improve the thing, and people really enjoy that, because it's not only about sharing the skills, but it's also about working on the engagement and the internal network in your company, because those people then feel comfortable to reach these people. So I would say that this is definitely a good way to go. Just give those people some playground, tell them that okay, this is mentoring, you can do this and that, and they will definitely engage. So I would be totally pro, and I would definitely support any program of this kind.
Okay, another question. What is your favorite source of talents, except from the internal referrals? Probably the external source of talents.
This is really hard to say, but I'd say that we've got a couple of companies.
And it's secret.
that we know that can provide us with really good people. Not really agencies, but other companies, and we definitely just look into people that they have. That's just one of the most common recruitment sources. So it would be our own sourcing, because that way you can really target the people that you want. But then of course referrals work amazingly.
Okay. What is your percentage of referral hires?
Here it could be about 30%.
Okay, that's a big number. How about you, Terka?
So from like 7 referrals, we get 1 hire as well. So it's like the most efficient way how we hire people at Productboard. And then sourcing from other like inspiring companies, it's really working as well for us. And events and conferences, networking, meetups, that's working as well quite well.
Okay. So the relationship work, it's work most efficient.
Actually, can I say something? Cocuma just brought us one amazing team member, Lenička, so that was also amazing source.
Yeah, okay. So thank you. It's at this moment it's amazing source about information about COVID-19. The question is, I think that for the future, for the HR managers, it's 2 numbers that they need to look on, and this is the fluctuation number, but like it shows how your company culture is performing. If you have, I think, my opinion, and the referral hires. So I think that the huge money to agencies and employer branding, I think it's about employer recognition and about the recognition of the people that is hiring through their relationships. I think. Okay, the people outside probably not seeing that you are agree with me. So okay. Okay. What do you look for in talent that you plan to hire? What is important for you in Productboard and in Ysoft, Terka?
So what is important, definitely like the empathy of the candidate. Like if we look at the values of the company, and so the value is actually not empathy, but we look definitely and it's important for us to see the empathy in the candidates and growth mindset, relentless improvement, and we really need to, I think that we need to click like both sides, and we need to be excited both sides again about each other, and and nobody is perfect, so this person should should also know about the areas he or she needs to improve. So good self-reflection would be also great, and humility as well.
Okay. How are you testing empathy?
So that's a good question. So I think like the empathy is actually like I don't know how do I actually test that. I think that through humility as well, and the self-reflection, like these all are like a bit connected. So and like about, I think also if there is no like ego, so how this person show her vulnerability, and about
okay.
I look for this.
And you're using some tests, some assessments, some I don't know, testing tools.
So for like recruiters, we have like our screen, like a screening script, but it always, because we want to be really we want to make it like personalized, so we usually like go into normal like conversation with the human being on the other side, but we have like some areas we are testing. We are not using tools. Then like the other part with engineers, they are using or like they are sending the tests and or like coding remotely with the candidates.
Okay, I remember the testing process 15 years ago when the candidate came in and you say, okay, sit here. This is your English test, and this is your behavioral test. And the recruiter came back after 20 minutes, and the said person sit in the small room and trying to fill some tests. It was horrible. Okay, Lucia, how about you? What are you looking for in the talents and people you want to hire? What's important for you?
We're kind of quite strong on hiring for much more of a culture fit than I would say the hard skills. You're looking probably a little bit more for the right attitude or the potential, to grow than just really being an expert, but then not really fitting within what we have in here. I think one important factor, and we've already discussed that, is the owner mindset. It's the fact that the person will be working in the headquarters, will be making decisions, will need to pick up things that nobody cares about, and so on. So this is something that we are looking for, rather than for some previous experience or probably some kind of certifications. So it's much more about the owner attitude and the culture fit than the rest.
Okay, and you have some tests, some screening tools?
No, not really. Of course, as for like the technical assessment, we use some small things. Could be some kind of live coding, some small homework, or something like that. But otherwise, there is nothing that would be somehow formal. We don't use tests. Not really.
Okay, Terka, you're still doing your Sunday night test?
Sunday night. No, I mean the salary and Sunday tests.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. This is how you measure the culture fit. Actually, like if you can imagine the person you are talking to, that he or she is in the office on Sunday, that you would really like join her or join him, and it would motivate you to actually come to work on Sunday. But I'm not sure that was real. Like for me, this is how I recognize that I really want this person into the team and it's culture fit. But I actually have to double check how the team is now doing.
Okay.
If they have the metrics.
And in the team is hiring that person. So after you have the interview, you introduced he or she to whole team or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the team is involved to any hiring process. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Lucia, is the same in Ysoft?
The same here, definitely. If it's the hiring manager, then it's very usually the team interview. And at the moment, as for our R&D or the engineering section, we're actually experimenting with this, radically flat structure with no manager. So it's going to be only the teams actually doing all the hiring themselves. So yeah, it's something to look forward to.
Okay. So let's do some summary. Tell me 5 more important things that you think that the modern and the recruiter for 21st century need to have. Okay, five things. 5 more important things.
So we go one by one, right? So it's not that tough.
Yeah, or maybe I will switch it into a Cocuma question. Terka, know that I'm doing that. If I say a recruitment in 21st century, what 5 words coming up to your mind?
Well, I would go for sorry.
Looks more proactive.
Yeah, sorry. So for me, I think that it should be like a partner to hiring manager. So I just don't know like now the adjective I wanted to use, but to be the partner for the hiring manager, not like his assistant or anything like that. So.
Okay, that's one thing. Another 4.
Oh,
I thought that we are going to do one by one.
Okay, so let's continue.
I'll probably go with some kind of authenticity that goes as for the employer branding, that goes as for talking truth to the candidate, talking truth to the hiring manager and so on, because that's really important. So yeah, that would be the second one.
Okay, so I'm not playing that game. So Terka, continue.
She needs to be really data driven. That's also important. I think creative and looking for like new ways, because like recruitment and the technologies are so fast. So really keeps updated herself or himself. Then follow the industry and trying to learn new approaches. That's the same thing I just said, but yeah, if you want to continue, let's go.
Sure. I'll just probably add the last one. That probably could be the business focus. Really understand how your business works, what generates money, what do people need, what's the added value there. So yeah, I would end this game by business focus.
Perfect. And I think that you say that one of the most important thing that you need to still be a human and have the human approach. It's the technology is I don't know, it's evolving fast, but I really appreciate that you talking about that you need to feel something and build a relationship and be a human to human. I love the age to age concept, so not the B2C and B2B and stuff like that. So I don't know, Patrick, how much time we have? I have low battery in my AirPods. I think that we answered all the questions. We have another one on Slido. It's so complicated for me. I will try to read it. With such a level of super personalization.
So we are actually having like another 5 minutes. Is it okay?
Okay. I will try in this 5 minutes to read that question. With such a level of super personalization and targeting, limiting reach, how do you plan to scale it up to reach more people? Lucka. Let's go first.
This is really hard to answer. I would say but it's like almost like a stupid answer, but you just need to be good enough. I mean, your not you as a recruiter, but your company needs to be good enough. You need to really believe in what you do. What you do need to really add value to someone. You need to have very good company culture, and if you like hit these, I believe there are many other companies that don't hit them. So you somehow manage to get their people if you want them. But it's super hard. It's like stupid simple to answer, but it's really hard to accomplish.
Okay. Thank you, Terka.
I really like the word like super personalization. It will be my new favorite word, I suppose. But I think you don't need to really have to do so much to be better than average right now with the personalization, especially. But if you want to scale fast, that maybe it's not the best approach to be super personalized. But if you want to hire the best talents and the, like more senior people and great leadership, you have to build the relationship and strengthen them and look after the community, I think.
Okay, thank you. And so I will end it somehow. I'm so glad that I'm meeting HR manager for 25 years. I'm going and I'm talking with them, and I've seen how they do the recruitment, and I'm so happy that in the recruitment business at this moment is so smiling faces and the people with energy that they love the recruitment, they love the job, and they want to do that job not just for the salary and because they have the 2 classes in high school about andragogika or something like that. But they really want to do that for the people in the company, for the founders, for the business. And so thank you a lot for that. And this is it. From my side, I'm wishing you a great time. I wish to all of us to get over that ugly nano shit COVID, something like that. And I want to meet you personally after that in some other discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you to you. Stay safe and hopefully to see you soon.
Okay, so this is probably all for us from us. Hello to outside world. Enjoy you a late night home office.
And hi guys. I hope that I didn't interrupt you right now. Sorry, some technical bug. But I would like to give big thanks all of you, all of you who were able to join us for this special event. To Petru, who was actually able to moderate this amazing panel discussion, and Tereza and Lucie for joining us, because it was really like the last minute call. So thank you very much. It wouldn't be possible without you. And I think it's really important in such times like these that we are able, to connect and share the knowledge, share some inspiration, and just improve ourselves and proceed to the next level. So thank all of you guys who are here with us. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Stay safe, and hopefully see you at our next online session. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.